call us into worship today with a brief reflection on a historic celebration of faith in a season of darkness. Tonight concludes the 8-day celebration of Hanukkah, a Jewish festival of lights commemorating the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem and the miracle of the oil. Remembering those dark times historically is especially important as the world was shaken by the tragedy of anti-Semitism once again in recent weeks. As the story is told, in the year 168 BCE, the Jewish holy city of Jerusalem was captured by the armies of the Syrian king Antiochus. The Syrian soldiers desecrated the temple, the holiest place for Jews in that time. Antiochus also abolished Judaism, outlawing the observance of Shabbat and the festivals, all the sacred practices of the Jewish faith. Altars and idols were set up for the worship of Greek gods, and Antiochus offered Jews just two options: conversion or death. A Jewish resistance movement, organized and led by Judah Maccabee, refusing to succumb to oppression, overcame overwhelming odds to defeat the Syrians and regain the Holy Temple. Judah then instructed his followers to cleanse the temple, rebuild its altar, and light its menorah, the gold candelabrum whose 7 branches represented knowledge and creation and were meant to be kept burning every night. But the Syrians had destroyed the supplies that were stored in the temple, and the Maccabees found there was only enough untainted olive oil to keep the menorah's candles burning for a single night. In faith and hope, the Jews lit their sacred menorah, and the flames burned bright for 8 nights, giving them the miraculous gift of time to find a fresh supply of oil. To this day, every year, generation after generation, Jews celebrate Hanukkah to reenact the miracle of the lights, a sacred act of gratitude for a miracle of faith. And so may we find the light to push back the darkness in the world. Let us engage in the timeless practice of declaring our values and commitments as we worth shape. Come, let us worth shape. Let us worship
tonight
together.
Is the final, the 8th and final night of Hanukkah. So I won't light that candle. That will be lit at sundown.
So you're going to need to figure out how to turn the microphone toward you.
Oh, yes.
So that people on Zoom can
Oh.
hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. So I'm going to light, I'm so old school, and I also want to tell you about, this was my favorite Christmas present from my husband Dave, some of you might remember, because the stones were from Israel, and I just loved that I got a menorah for Christmas one year. Yeah. So I will light the shamus in the middle. And then I will light the candles 1 through 7. And does anyone know the prayer that would like to, would you like to sing it with me? I'll sing it, you can join if you want. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'harlik ner Shel Hanukkah. And we don't blow them out.
You can blame it on the tilt. The reason we have seasons, the reason we have a longest day in June and a longest night in December is all because the Earth is tilted on its axis. So as it rotates around the sun, the northern part is tilted toward the sun in the summer and away in the winter, shifting us back and forth into predictable, more or less predictable pattern every year. This morning at 10:03, as many of us were on our way here or signing on to the Zoom link, the northern half of the planet moved through the winter solstice, which means it reached the far point of that tilt and now we'll begin tilting back. Yes, we know to blame it on the tilt. If the Earth were straight up and down in its relationship to the sun, there would not be seasons. We would not have the leafy green in summer, the snow in winter, the glory of autumn leaves, or the thrill of spring blossoms. We know about the tilt, so we understand why there are seasons, why days are longer and warmer in the summer, colder and shorter in the winter. The timing of the seasons depends on whether we are in the north or south of the equator. So we know to blame it on the tilt, and yet we wonder as the darkness descends in the weeks before the solstice, as we find ourselves drawn into the experience, we wonder and we wait. In ancient times, stories were created to explain the seasons. Some of the stories imagine that the sun is a being with a human sort of personality. In the summer, the sun seems happy with us, getting up early and staying late, like a friend who wants to be with us as long as they can. But then comes the fall, when the sun starts getting up later and later, going to bed earlier and earlier each day, so that every day there is less time of daylight. The darkness grows as we approach the end of December, when some days it seems like the sun barely appears before the twilight starts to fall, until finally we reach the winter solstice. As we descend into the dark and the cold, we might wonder, is the sun angry with us? Have we done something wrong? Will the days just keep getting shorter and shorter until we are simply left in the dark forever? Sure, we went through this last year, and then the sun eventually did come back, but what if the sun is really angry this time and doesn't come back at all? In many cultures, celebrations of light were created to relieve the anxiety of the dark times, to reach out and reconcile with the sun so that it would come back. These celebrations have many practices and names, and many were positioned at this time of year for this very reason. So Christmas and St. Nicholas Day, Hanukkah and Eid al-Adha, Kwanzaa and Diwali, St. Lucia Day and Hogmanay and Saturnalia, Yalda and Karachun and Soyal and Dongzi. There is an amazing variety of winter festivals around the world. Personal and community celebrations may include cleansing, cleaning the house, or taking a special bath, or eating ceremonial foods, giving gifts, lighting candles, putting up a tree with lights on it, setting off fireworks to light up the dark skies, and building fires to communicate with the fire of the sun. One small town in Germany rolls huge fiery wheels down the hillside. And on St. Lucia Day in Sweden, teenage women wear a wreath of lit candles on their heads. They use battery candles now to keep from setting their hair on fire. Unitarian Universalism honors the many belief systems and practices that reflect the pluralism of our faith. We each find our own place as we bring global and local traditions into our Unitarian Universalist faith with commitment to the values of justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity, centered in the unifying and enlivening power of love. Today, we honor traditions that reflect the deeply human experience of the seasons, the struggle to overcome oppression, the descent into darkness, and the rise into light, as Cheryl led us in the Jewish ritual of lighting the menorah. And now we will close our service with the earth-centered solstice celebration of Yule. My own genetic heritage includes deep roots in Ireland, and my own faith as a Unitarian Universalist resonates with the ancient earth-centered practices of the Druidic Celtic religion. Earth-centered faith honors the presence of the divine in the natural world as the energies of universal elements are woven into the mysteries of all life on the planet. For me, the mystery of my faith deepens at the key times of the solar year, the heights and depths of summer and winter solstice, the balance points of the vernal and autumnal equinox, and the flexion points in between, Imbolc, Beltane, Lammas, and Samhain. And so today, I will invite you to join me in spiritual expression of the observance of Yule, grounded in the experience of life on this tilted planet, which lies at the root of the Christmas and New Year and other faith celebrations around the world. Yule is an ancient pagan tradition in Northern European and Celtic countries, in Scandinavia, Germany, Ireland, and Scotland, where people cleanse their homes, clear their minds, and create a clear focus on the future to invite the return of the sun, the return of life-giving warmth and light. In a little while, we will share in a ritual of jumping the Yule log to symbolize entering the new year with the return of the light. This Yule ritual is a time to let go of any burdens we have been carrying, to free up space for new light to enter and create new beginnings as we set our intentions for the new year.